You are about to listen to the words of Fethullah Gulen, a distinguished Islamic scholar and thinker. In this podcast, you will hear his essay, Overcoming Despair.
Since the creation of mankind, humans frequently longed for a much different world and have occasionally criticized the periods in which they lived. This behavior may be acceptable, even admired, if it stems from the longing for eternity we feel in our conscience, or for an enthusiasm we have for a lost paradise. However, when this criticism targets the present time and is expressed with despair and pessimism, I believe it is neither admirable nor acceptable. Rather, it should be viewed as a disease that warrants careful scrutiny. When discontent leads to dismissing long-standing principles and traditions that have withstood the test of time and collective wisdom, it may reflect a need for introspection and a deeper understanding of spiritual and social harmony. Unfortunately, this kind of contrarianism is increasingly prevalent today. With arguments that contradict each other, people question everything that has been embraced by the general public. They dismiss all that comes from the past as outdated and believe it must be discarded, yet they seldom propose constructive alternatives. Instead, they act with a purely rebellious mindset, adopting the attitude, we will destruct everything now, and if something has to be done, we will consider that later. Such an approach often leads to a cycle of destruction rather than meaningful renewal. This rebellious and impulsive mentality is entirely different from the constructive desire to refine outdated ideas and replace them with fresh interpretations. Nor is it a response aimed at those who adapt indiscriminately to everything, failing to distinguish between good and bad. I believe the root of such behavior lies in hysterical anguish, a confused mentality, a crude form of thoughtlessness, spiritual instability, or a fanciful urge to say something new for the sake of novelty. Those who act in this way manipulate words and concepts, creating ambiguity and obscurity that often cloud their so-called ideas. This is frequently done to conceal their lack of depth on one hand and to seek attention or validation on the other. In every word, thought, and action, they seek to captivate more fans, yet remaining prisoners of their own desires. These emotional states may not seem extraordinary for a spiritually diseased person, for their emotions, and thoughts are stalked by inner conflicts and contradictions. However, when such a spiritual state goes beyond individuals and begins to cause uncertainty and confusion in the society and holds people captive, it cannot be ignored. Occasionally, this kind of behavior and discourse can also be found in people of exceptional intelligence who are experiencing a state of crisis and depression. This arises because such individuals, in their search for alternative systems, often engage in profound self-interrogation of their egos and exhibit the courage to critique and question their own thoughts. However, this noble state of self-examination is as distant from the rebellious, destructive state as the sun is from the earth. One represents the resolute, thoughtful path of the prophets, and the other of deceitful naysayers. The representatives of the first way are great architects of thought, resolute in their commitment to building. Even when they must destroy, it is only to lay the foundation for a greater construction. In contrast, the unfortunate representatives of the second way are never genuine in their emotions, thoughts, or actions. They spend their lives in a constant state of ebb and flow. Even when they appear to build, in truth, they only destroy. I am educated, I am an intellectual, they delusionally repeat. Influenced by disbelief, communistic ideologies, and nihilism to varying degrees, they exist like the people of purgatory, suspended in an intermediary state. In their thoughts and emotions, these hybrid individuals do not fully align with either the East or the West. Instead, they remain disconnected from the essence of both worlds, yet show little hesitation in presenting themselves as otherwise. The following lines seem as though Mehmet Akif the poet wrote them with such individuals in mind. They neither look to the East nor are aware of the West, nor have any share of good conduct. All they have as resources is a face that do not blush, and eyes that do not water. According to this shameless perspective, one that can emerge from any ideological group, humanity stands on the brink of terrifying destruction, disasters and tribulations, recurring throughout history, now surge as dense and merciless as tidal waves. Rulers are as despotic as Caesar and as self-centered as Napoleon, while the population at large is viewed as a heedless, disrespectable mass. According to this same perspective, just as past civilizations were born, flourished, and ultimately vanished, the civilizations of our age will also fade away, one by one. And for the last time, the world will descend into a dark abyss of despair and gloom. Indeed, the current civilization has already obliterated much of the meaning it inherited from past civilizations, which once served as its spirit and roots. Today, individuals in many parts of the world stand as striking examples of deprivation. The family unit is in a state of profound disintegration and shambles. Parents often appear indifferent as their children pursue nothing but carnal desires. With this indifference, they risk harming the souls of their children, who seem to exist merely as products of fleeting physical pleasure. Spiritual values are disregarded, violated, and subjected to disrespect. The education of the heart and conscience has faded from prominence, leaving new generations struggling under the weight of their own ego-driven desires. Hearts are merciless, emotions are base, ambitions are wicked. Eyes look disparagingly on the worshipers of God. These living corpses who spend their entire lives consumed by eating, drinking, and pursuing worldly pleasures remain entirely unaware that they are continuously circling the whirlpool of evil. Homes, whether in the countryside or urban areas, often lack the warmth of emotion, compassion, understanding, and mindfulness. Many streets evoke a sense of despair, their corners heavy with gloom. Schools in many ways seem to have lost their direction, leaving them adrift in uncertainty. Places of worship have become quiet shadows of their former vitality, visited by those who may not fully appreciate the spiritual depth they once embodied. Centers of spiritual retreat, once vibrant with meaning, are now reduced to ceremonial traditions, lacking their original essence. The power is now enslaved to cruelty and oppression, hanging over truth like a merciless sledgehammer. Freedom has become a token granted at the pleasure of tyrants. Order is established by brute force, and desperate cries echo everywhere. In the presence of such pessimistic scenes, neither hope nor determination remains. I'm unsure if portraying these scenes serves any benefit, but one thing I do know is that even the purest of minds can become muddled by such depictions. Many of these portrayals are in fact true, and events attest to them. For instance, it is true that we are beggars at the doors of a cruel world to which we have devoted ourselves as servants. It is true that we abandoned the rich inheritance of our past, our values, beliefs, customs, and traditions, and, to a certain extent, we have even abandoned our spirituality. We have imported foreign ethics and perceptions as though they were scientific or technological commodities. Yes, it is true that our ship has been battered repeatedly, but we have no right to paralyze our determination or portray it as such, to reborn within our feelings, thoughts, and conscience. Whether we possess such a right or not, any word, thought, or action that weakens our hope and willpower is not only disrespectful, but also a betrayal of our ideals. Moreover, in our life of thought, determination, and faith, a significant regeneration is clearly underway, even if difficulties remain. Indeed, although it may appear frayed and weakened, the willpower of people is flourishing almost everywhere, awakening to the purpose of their creation. We can hear the echoes of supplications turning to God all around us. Equally sacred are the breaths of God's servants pursuing the path of truth, which ascend as melodies of elation to the habitants of the heavens. As one prophetic tradition suggests, it would not be an exaggeration to say that angels converse about the prayers reverberating within the domes across the world. While some of us may not fully deserve the roles we hold or do justice to the positions we occupy, the ballads rising at the intersection where the far-sightedness of friends meets the curiosity of enemies are undoubtedly the songs of our revival. Indeed, the roads we have walked have brought us to town squares and harbors, from which we believe we will set sail to the boundless horizons we nurture in our hopes. Thus, perhaps not all members of our society feel the same. We are in a state of eagerness and excitement, as if embarking on a journey along the slopes of paradise. And in the very near future, the sun, moon, and stars will rise and set over our hillsides, illuminating the blossoms of modesty, honesty, loyalty, devotion, the passion for knowledge, and the spirit of exploration. Wherever we go, we will walk under arches of rainbows built just for us, and the days when we will experience profound spiritual joys are fast approaching. The dawn is just beyond the horizon, heralding days when every face will reflect sincere purity, every heart will burn with the fire of love, and every action will carry an otherworldly depth. These will be days when we journey from one captivating vista to another, basking in the radiance of our bright fortune, with smiles of gratitude. We have complete faith that, despite the growing disrespect and egoism of these modern times, we are on the verge of a new day where respect will flourish and thrive, and the gentle breezes of humbleness, modesty, and kindness will sweep across the world. The younger generations have endured the erosion of their inner worlds, led from one abyss to another. They have been confined to a three-dimensional space and a dull, colorless, single dimension of time, disconnected from both the past and the future. Yet amidst this, we witness many who, with their far-sighted and purposeful visions, have lifted their spirits off the ground, have managed to reorient themselves to their inner truths, and explored the beauties of the universe and existence. The spirit and ethical values that form the foundations of our society have resurfaced once again with their unique qualities and dimensions of consciousness, emotion, willpower, and heart. On many faces, we see a radiant expression of modesty, while their actions exude sincerity and enthusiasm. This spiritual depth and humility are promising signs for these new generations. Today, this pure generation seems to be fulfilling its responsibilities with a profound sense of duty and passion, offering us the chance to reclaim the lost gardens of prosperity. While these youth grow vertically in personal depth and character, their numbers increase exponentially across society, a blessing from God. Indeed, these selfless individuals, who sacrifice their own comfort for the well-being of others, inspire hope that the afflictions of the past few centuries will soon come to an end. In much the same way that fire melts solids and purifies impurities, the disasters and hardships of the past few centuries have led our society through a process of self-purification. These trials have inspired a renewed commitment to preserving this newfound purity and innocence. Yesterday, destiny always just placed shackles on our society and made us captives of our desires, reflecting the inner corruption of our souls. Today, that same destiny will surely guide us to glory, as signs of hope illuminate our hearts and our willpower and determination grow as strong as steel.
You have just listened to the words of Fethullah Gulen, brought to life through an AI-generated voice. Known for his teachings on faith, interfaith dialogue, peace, and education, Meister Gulen also inspired the Hizmet movement, a global initiative that promotes democracy, human rights, equality, and nonviolence. To learn more about Fethullah Gulen and the Hizmet movement, visit fgulen.com.